Hey, remember back when Joe Biden was president? Well, we used to wonder who's really in charge, who's really running things. Now we know it's whoever that was pushing the button on the auto pen to sign his name on things that he had no idea he was signing. This is a huge, huge constitutional crisis and scandal about the last presidency. It's coming out of the House Judiciary Committee. We're going to give you all the details on that coming up in a moment. Also, Rosie O'Donnell has self-deported herself, and it's fantastic. She sent a farewell video that we're just going to eat up, gobble up. We're going to just munch it up. We're just going to love every bit of it. Plus, big brouhaha in Congress because a male congressman was referred to as a gentleman. And Lord knows, a lot of those guys are not gentlemen. The problem is this gentleman, well, wears a dress. And, well, we can't have that. So we'll have a discussion about it. And finally, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs shows us all how to handle the media in the most respectful, kind, but effective way. And we're going to break that video down coming up right now. We are brought to you by Birch Gold. My name is Larry O'Connor, and you can call me Larry. All right, so you're on a boat, maybe a fishing trip or something, or maybe you're on a cruise ship, and boom, you're sinking, and you're sinking fast. At this moment, it would be ineffective for you to go to Amazon and purchase a life vest because it's too late. And in the same way, if you've got a sinking economy, you don't then suddenly say, hey, let's get some gold, shall we? Not after it's already collapsed. Others are heeding this advice, by the way. Gold hit all-time highs in January and February of this year. It's not too late for you, though. The company you should contact to help you diversify into physical gold is Birch Gold. Now, Birch Gold specializes in helping you convert an existing IRA or 401k. This is cash. This is money you've already gotten. You've already put it away. They'll help you convert that into physical gold. And, of course, not one penny out of your pocket. We got this 5-star review from Birch Gold. You can see it online. They got tons of positive reviews. Knowledgeable, helpful, non-pressure. That's key for me before I endorsed Birch Gold. I want to make sure that this wasn't going to be some boiler room situation where you're under the gun. No, all we like to do is give you information, educate you on gold, how it's a viable option for your future, and then you make the choice. I respect your intelligence. So get that information now. You'll get a free info kit on gold just by texting my name, Larry, Larry, to 989898. Right there, you can see it. Larry, 989898. I promise you there's no obligation here. There's no hard sell. We just want to give you information, and then you can make up your mind. Figure out how the experts at Birch Gold can help you secure your future today with gold. Well, this is a huge blockbuster that broke out of the Oversight Committee in the House yesterday afternoon. It has to do with Joe Biden's use of an auto pen to sign bills into law and to sign pardons and executive orders. Now, it all began early in March. This was March 4th, when the Attorney General of Missouri asked, and this is, by the way, through the Oversight Project, great group over at Heritage Foundation, who has sort of been doing their own private sector oversight investigations into various things in the last presidency. And what they did after getting this letter from the attorney, oh, hold on, I've already moved too fast, haven't I? Let me start with the letter from the Attorney General of Missouri, Andrew Bailey, all right? This was at March 4th, where he specifically asked the Department of Justice, Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, to investigate who was signing all of these pardons on behalf of Joe Biden. You know what which we're talking about. The pardons for his family members, the pardons for Liz Cheney and General Milley, and anyone who sat on the January 6th committee, and Adam Schiff, all these preemptive pardons that go back to December of 2014 for some reason. Anthony Fauci got a preemptive pardon, right? As you can see from this letter of Attorney General Andrew Bailey, he wrote to ask for a full investigation into Biden's mental capacity in his final days in office. By now, Biden's mental decline is famous. Under the 25th Amendment, his inability to make decisions should have meant a succession of power. Instead, it appears staffers and officers in the Biden administration may have exploited Biden's incapacity so they could issue orders without an accountable president of sound mind approving them. Now, you may wonder, how is that possible? Because even if he's not in sound mind, even if they're just making decisions on his behalf, for the important stuff like pardons and signing bills into laws and executive orders, you've got to sign them. Well, That's where the oversight project from Heritage Foundation comes in, as I just previously mentioned. What they did was they gathered every document with Biden's signature over the course of his entire presidency. And it appears that every single signature is exactly carbon copy, perfectly identical. That can only be because of the use of what's called an auto pen. See, look at this signature right here. This one on the top is from a order signed Thursday, August 11th, 2022. And then over 2 years later, December 30th, 2024, you can see the signature. It is identical. It's the exact same thing. So an auto pen is basically a device, and it's not super modern. I think President Lyndon Johnson utilized an auto pen. When a president has to sign like tons and tons of things, and usually this thing is used for, thank you cards, letters to citizens who write a Christmas card to the president, and then the president sends it back and tell Jimmy to be good at his Boy Scout troop, and signed Lyndon Johnson. Like the president, if the president spent all day signing these things, it would be impossible. He wouldn't have any time to do anything. And you don't hire someone to forge the president's name. They had to figure out some sort of happy medium. So they created this thing called the auto pen. The auto pen allows for the president to send a semi-personalized card or letter or note or whatever like that. In fact, I'm told that Trump utilized the auto pen, I'm not making this up, to autograph MAGA hats during his first term. Stuff like that. But not signing bills into law. Not signing official federal government executive branch documents that affect everybody. We're talking about, creating some non-governmental organization through USAID, which is going to funnel billions of dollars to Stacey Abrams. Who authorizes that? Who signs that, right? And of course, the aforementioned pardons for his son. That may be the one that he did sign. I'm told, based on researching this earlier today, that when Lyndon Johnson would sign something with his actual hand, with his pen, he would put a dot on the page next to his name to authenticate the fact that he had signed it versus the use of the auto pen. So if you were like in correspondence with Johnson and you were getting some note from him, if the dot was there, you knew that he sent it personally. It's just some presidential trivia for you. So according to the Oversight Project out of Heritage Foundation, they found that signature right there, the auto pen Joseph Biden signature on the vast majority of the official government documents that he signed. In fact, our friend Kyle Becker has put together this animation. Here, take a look at this. It's absolutely stunning. Here are the pardons for the Biden family, for the January 6th committee, for Anthony Fauci, for General Milley, and for Lundgren. Do you see? He takes that signature and then merges them all together, and you can see that they are identical. He used an auto pen on pardons. Now, I want to be real here because I don't like walking you down a rosy path. This is the kind of thing that will be very, very hard to go after criminally or to undo what he has done with the auto pen. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first one is, and let me break this down real fast. There is constitutional language specific to bills and pardons. It's called the I think it's the presence clause or the presentence clause when it comes to bills going to the president to sign into law. Think about your Schoolhouse Rock, right? The bill is physically presented to the president. He has 10 days, not counting Sundays, to sign that bill. If he doesn't, then that's what's called a pocket veto. If he doesn't sign it, it just gets vetoed without him actually having to sign it and say veto. Or he can veto it, or he can sign it. But the language of the Constitution is clear. It says that the president must sign it. That's the language, not the bill must bear the president's signature, right? Which is different language. See, it has my signature, so it should be fine. Okay, yeah, but who signed it? The Constitution specifically says the president must sign it. Now, is there any precedent that we know of for a president to use an auto pen to sign a bill into law? Not really. The only thing close that we can get to it has to do with the extension of existing laws that were supposed to sunset. In fact, it's the same law, ironically, the Patriot Act. Oh, yeah, we love our Patriot Act, don't we? George W. Bush signed the Patriot Act into law. Then, when it hit its first extension, President Bush was traveling abroad, so he authorized the use of an auto pen for it. Ditto Barack Obama. He was traveling abroad, coincidentally, when the Patriot Act was about to expire, and the extension of the Patriot Act under Obama was also extended via the auto pen. Now, was that constitutional? We don't know, because no one ever challenged it. No one ever sued over it. No one ever took this up the federal court system to say, wait a second, can you use an auto pen? Because it's one thing when you've got George W. Bush flying all over the world, clearly competent, clearly on top of his game, clearly knowing what he's doing. Same with Barack Obama. But when you find out that Joe Biden, somebody who looked like he was incapacitated mentally, cognitively, and even physically, pretty much from day one, when you find out that the majority of actions he took were taken with an auto pen, then you have to say, well, wait a second. How does he know that he signed that? How do we know that he signed that? How do we know that he knows that he signed that? Who the hell signed it? Who ran this White House? And clearly it was the person who pushed the button on the auto pen. You see, it's a very different story, especially forget about bills and laws and trillions of dollars of spending that were activated by the auto pen in some cases. What about pardons? Probably the single most powerful unitary power that the president has, even more so than engaging in war. Technically, the president can't engage in war. He needs Congress to declare war. This power that the president has is more powerful than anything else in the executive branch. The pardon power is unequivocal, and it can't be challenged unless it can be challenged over whether the president actually did sign the pardon. We don't have any precedent for this. Do we know that Joe Biden knows who he pardoned right now? Speaker Johnson actually told an anecdote during the last few months of the Biden presidency where he was engaging in a White House negotiation with Joe Biden about a specific spending issue. And Joe Biden, threatened to do something unilaterally with his executive powers if they didn't move forward on some spending agreement. And Speaker Johnson had to remind Joe Biden that he had already done that. So how many other executive actions did Joe Biden take that he either doesn't remember taking or has no idea he ever took? You see, when you're able to use the auto pen like this, and you can deliver pardons to people like that with just the push of a button, I mean, that's a complete and total usurpation of our Constitution, of the executive branch of government, and it's a scandal beyond anyone's belief. And one would think that the auto pen being so powerful and in use in such a ubiquitous way in the Biden White House, then there would be some sort of chain of custody. For instance, where was the auto pen kept? Was it kept in a safe? Were only one or two people able to utilize it? If you took the auto pen out of its safe, is there a log where people have to sign it out? Was there oversight? Could it, is it one of those things like where you launch the nuclear missiles out of a silo where you have to have two Air Force officers turn the key at the same time with multiple witnesses? Or can anybody just walk past the Oval Office, grab the auto pen and say, here, I need a pardon from my brother-in-law, and get it signed? I wish I could answer all of those hypothetical questions for you, but there are no answers to it. No one in the Biden administration is talking. They're keeping their yaps shut. So what's next? Judiciary Committee, oversight in the House of Representatives, and hopefully the initiation of an investigation at the Justice Department about this. Listen, Biden's gone. He's done. He's history. He's a laughing stock. He's a punchline. He's done his damage. And I don't know, even if you determine that auto pens were used inappropriately, illegally, and without the president's knowledge, if at this point you can undo a pardon. I truly don't know because it's never been tested before. But this goes well beyond just Biden, just the Democrats, and just this presidency. This has to be locked down right now. The abuse of power, the robbing of the American people, and the complete and total usurpation of the people's will in the Constitution, that's what's at stake here. And this is a scandal beyond anyone's imagination. Look at that. And now the Oversight Project at Heritage, as well as the Judiciary Committee in the House, they're going through multiple documents, probably every document. At this point, the only executive order or bill signed into law that you should assume Joe Biden was cognizant and aware of and actually physically did himself were the ones where he had a big show and everyone was standing around him, and he used the multiple pens and handed the pens off to people. And well, even then, I don't think he knew what he was doing. He probably thought he was endorsing some brand new fountain pen for the drugstore down the street on Main Street back in 1964. I mean, for all we know. This is a scandal, and we're going to keep following it for you. Watch this space as we deliver more information on it. Oh, sweet Rosie O'Donnell, what are we going to do without you? Rosie O'Donnell, God bless her. At least she's actually making good on her promise, unlike some of these other Hollywood dirtbags who say, if Trump wins, I'm out of here. And then, of course, they stick around and keep making bad movies and demanding you pay $20 for them. No, Rosie O'Donnell put her considerable money where her considerable mouth is. She took to social media yesterday and delivered a video with heartbreaking news for all three of her fans. Take a look.
Well, hey, everybody, it's me, Rosie O'Donnell, star of the Flintstones. It's Tuesday all day, as my Nana would say.
Hold on. I can't let this pass. How sad and pathetic is your life if you have to identify yourself as star of the Flintstones, which, by the way, she wasn't. She was like the sixth name in that movie. She played Betty Rubble, which, by the way, always offended me because I had the weirdest crush on Betty Rubble when I was 7 years old. Betty Rubble was hot. Rosie O'Donnell was not. Still, she played Betty Rubble, which is, all right, let's give her fourth lead. But I think that whoever created the animated Dino in that movie, she deserves more credit as a star of the Flintstones. So number one, she has to identify herself as the star of the Flintstones when she in fact was not the star of the Flintstones. And number two, she's identifying herself as the star of a movie that is over 30 years old. That's sad. That's rough. But it's all you got when you're Rosie O'Donnell. Okay. We'll go back to Rosie's video while I reminisce about Betty Rubble for a moment. That short dress, it was just cute. All right, go ahead, Rosie.
And I'm here in Ireland, and it's beautiful and warm, not physically, it's actually quite cold. Moved here on January 15th, and it's been pretty wonderful, I have to say. The people are so loving and so kind, so welcoming, and I'm very grateful. I'm in the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents, and that's what's going on, and that's where I've been and what I've been doing. And although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country, that's what I decided would be the best for myself and my 12-year-old child. And here we are. Here we are.
All right, couple things. First of all, Rosie, 2 words of advice. Zoom out. Seriously, I feel like an esthetician here, like I'm giving you a facial. I don't need this up-close examination of your pores for this video. Just like give me a nice framing, right? I respect your personal space on this show. I expect the same from Rosie. She's a close talker, I guess, right? Maybe she has short arms. Buy a tripod. Okay, that's number one. Number two, and no offense, how old is this woman? She's got to be in her like late 60s, right? What the hell is she doing with a 12-year-old kid? I know she like adopts these kids and uses them as, you know, publicity props on the red carpet and stuff. Look at me, I'm a lesbian and I have children. Aren't I great? And my understanding is that she's got some serious psychological problems with some of those kids who aren't even speaking to her because of the way they were used and propped up as some sort of political and gender iconic representation instead of, being a child who is loved and cared for. But that's fine. Listen, she's got a 12-year-old. God bless her, raised the 12-year-old. Do you understand the implicit slam on America? I'm here in Ireland and everyone's so nice. Everyone's so supportive. Everyone's so, not like you Americans, you pigs. Everything about this is so insulting and self-indicting, and she doesn't even realize how self-indicting it is. But she elaborates on why she had to go to Ireland. Let's take a look.
And I don't necessarily want to see, myself on the news on posts like this one. But there you have it. It's going to be what it's going to be when you're a public figure.
Darling, there's a great way to avoid having your face all over the news because you moved to Ireland. Shut up. Get out of our life. Don't leave a 10-minute video on social media and then promote it all across the place, trying to tell everybody, look at me. I guarantee you, nobody would have missed you. No one would have sat around like months from now saying, you know what? You know who I really miss? You know who I need in my life right now is Rosie O'Donnell. Where the hell is Rosie? My life is incomplete without Rosie O'Donnell. That's what's killing her. I don't necessarily want to see my face on the news. Then why are you delivering a 10-minute long video, a monologue, telling me the latest in your life? Clearly you want people to know about it. Clearly you do, you liar. Okay, sorry. Oh, look at that. She is having a rough day.
Live in a more private life as you get older. This is sort of the journey that you take. I'm happy. Clay is happy. I miss my other kids. I miss my friends. I miss many things about life there at home. And I'm trying to find a home here in this beautiful country. And when, it is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America, that's when we will consider coming back. It's been heartbreaking to see what's happening politically and hard for me personally as well. The personal is political, as we all know. So I've met a bunch of people. Everyone's been friendly. I have a wonderful friend named Tom who has taken me under his wing and showed me around Dublin, and I'm so grateful, really grateful. And I imagined, a different life for me when I met him. I said, imagine if I was raised here, who would I be? Would I be the same person? I don't know, I don't really know.
I love that 10 seconds into this video, she said, I'm happy. I'm so happy. Look at her. Listen to the tone. Listen to the wistful, until as fellow citizens are treated equally, I can't live there, so I'm going to be here. And I think to myself as I walk through the streets of Dublin, if I had been raised here, I don't know, what would my life have turned out to be? I guess I can use a lot of adjectives to describe Rosie O'Donnell's demeanor in this video. Happy would not make the top 20. This does not seem like a happy woman. I'm happy. I don't have to worry about Rosie O'Donnell. I don't want to bump into her at the Wegmans. A little bit more Rosie.
And I hope you're okay. And
we're okay.
I'm sorry for those of you who were worried and who missed me. I just felt like we needed to take care of ourselves and make some hard decisions and follow through. And now as we're getting settled, I was ready to post this and to tell everybody what's been going on. So there, I've missed you, TikTok. I'm worried that TikTok is going to go away. It seems as though the only place you can get the news of what's really happening in terms of protests and whatnot is on TikTok. And the mainstream media has been letting us all down there in America, where the fourth estate is required in order to maintain a democracy. And, they haven't been doing their job. So here's hoping that they will get better before it's too late. And here's hoping it's not too late already. I encourage everyone to stand up, to use their voice, to protest, to demand that we follow the Constitution in our country. And not a king, not a man. And we don't have cruelty as part of our governing style.
I got to tell you, this is a pro-Obama Democrat decrying the idea that now in America we regard our president like a king, which we don't, by the way. The closest we came was under Obama, where they treated him like a deity. I'm glad that Rosie is happy about protests and encourages protests against government, because now that she's in Ireland, she's going to see some doozies. There's something insidiously insulting about an American citizen who travels abroad out of protest because they're angry at the direction that their country has taken, goes overseas and then puts out a video lecturing us about what we've got to fix to get them back. Yeah, I tell you what, listen, you really think things are broken here? And you want to make that, then why don't you stay here and try to fix them? Go elsewhere and then lecture us about what we've got to do. That's stunning, courageous, and brave, Rosie. Well done, you. She is a creature of the mainstream media, by the way. So here she is criticizing it. Understand how left you have to be when you think that our current legacy propaganda media that is personified by the likes of George Stephanopoulos and Kristen Welker and Margaret Brennan and Jake Tapper and the Washington Post and the New York Times, that they are falling down on the job because they've gone too far MAGA. And by the way, you want to know how lefty you are? How incredibly outside the mainstream of any kind of American thought you are? That TikTok, the communist Beijing-controlled TikTok, is the only place where you get the real news nowadays. That's where Rosie O'Donnell's sitting right now. Listen, I'm glad, like I said, this is self-indicting. She's telling you exactly who she is and where she's sitting. I bet the fact that it's Ireland, we'll get to Ireland being an ironic choice for young Ms. O'Donnell in just a moment, but let's wrap it up here with her very happy thoughts. I want to remind you all, she's really, really happy. Here's Happy Rosie.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the story. Rosie O'Donnell, right there, all the news. Peace, people, peace. And, protect your sanity is all I can say. Protect your sanity as much as you can. And try not to swim in the chaos if possible. But I know it's nearly impossible when you're there in the middle of it. And I think about everyone every day and the United States of America. And I am hoping that we can turn things around. I'm counting on you, all of you, to do what's right. And I think deep down inside, we all know what that is. All right. Take care. TikTok, you don't stop.
I love the fact that she just says, I'm praying and I'm hoping that we can turn things around. I'm counting on you. So we're going to turn things around. I'll be over here in Ireland watching you all turn things around. So the only thing that would have kept Rosie O'Donnell here in America, apparently, is Kamala Harris winning the presidency. So, I mean, the benefits just keep coming. I mean, honestly, Rosie, we already voted for Trump. Don't keep piling on and giving us more reasons. We're gonna like try to alter the Constitution so we can run a third term if we get more of this. Self-deportation is a beautiful thing, and we're really excited to see that Rosie's decided to leave and go to Ireland. But let's talk about the fact that she went to Ireland for a moment, shall we? Because one of the major criticisms from people like Rosie O'Donnell is that Trump is xenophobic and protectionist and is closing our borders and not welcoming. And, we need to open up our borders and let people in from other countries. And he's racist. Let's not forget, he's racist against those Mexicans, those Guatemalans, those Haitians. It's amazing to me that when Hollywood stars like this all complain about Trump and they say, I can't believe what he's doing to these poor Mexican people. These are people that just want to come here and live a better life. It's awful. He's so racist. And if he wins the presidency, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go to Canada or Ireland. It's like, wait a minute. Your heart is bleeding here for the Haitians and for the Mexicans. And when it's your time to leave in solidarity for their cause, you go as far away as you can from them. And oh, by the way, to much whiter pastures.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah, she did. Yes, sir.
We just have to interrupt real quick because we have a completely incredible breaking clip of Trump and the Irish Prime Minister right now.
Oh, let's go. All right. I see it. Let's do it right now. You betcha. Stand by.
Great attitude, many in this room right now that I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
It's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Mr.
You know,
Are you expecting?
You know who she is?
Yeah. I'm joking.
You better off not. You better off not knowing.
President Trump, it's okay.
Oh, that's great. I don't know do we know who the pool reporter is that asked that question?
I'm sorry. No, I don't.
This is the beautiful thing about the Trump White House expanding the pool reporters. You get somebody in there who says, why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell into your country? This is a St. Patrick's Day celebration that they have every year. And it's very bipartisan. It's a lot of fun when the Irish representatives come to the White House and then they go down to Congress and the Democrats and Republicans. Everyone loves the Irish, right? You're talking to an O'Connor here. And a McMahon, by the way. This is a very Irish show, isn't it? Our intern, Quinn. What's Aaron's ethnicity? Hey, we got a new guy today. Is he Irish? He's Irish today if he's not regularly Irish.
73% Irish.
He's wearing a green shirt.
Let's go, Aaron. We got O'Connor, we got McMahon, we got Quinn, and we got 73% Irish Aaron. All right. Oh, Aaron. I guess that is kind of an Irish name, isn't it? It's not spelled that way, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, the point is everyone loves the Irish because we love everybody except Rosie O'Donnell. And so here's the reporter saying, why would you let Rosie O'Donnell into your country? He's going to bring down the happiness quotient. She's going to bring down the happiness quotient. And you watch Trump's reaction, by the way, on this. He's so self-satisfied.
Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland. I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
It's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Mr.
You know,
Are you expecting?
Yeah, that's the best part. Where the Irish Prime Minister is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Rosie O'Donnell's a made-up name. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as a Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, you're right. That was glorious. So let me just finish this up by pointing out that the likes of Rosie O'Donnell and all these other Hollywood, they're constantly decrying Trump for his racism and his xenophobic policies, his anti-immigrant policies, because he's a white nationalist, right? So where did Rosie O'Donnell's had enough? Where did she go? She didn't go to Haiti. She didn't go to Mexico. She didn't go to Honduras or Guatemala. She didn't go to India or China. She went to Ireland. Take a look at the current racial makeup of the good people of Ireland. Here's the demographic breakdown. 82 to 85% of people in Ireland are not just white, they're white Irish. I love that they break this down. I mean, there's white and then there's white. So first we count the white Irish, 85%. Then there's the other whites. I love to say other whites, Polish, French, Eastern European, still white, but not quite as white as we are, like Rosie O'Donnell. That's another 9 or 10%. So now we're up to like 95% white of some flavor or another. Then the next ethnic breakdown is Asian, Indian, Chinese, Filipino, maybe 3%, right? Then you finally get your black population, around 1.5 to 2%. And then other ethnicities, mixed race individuals. I'm sure somewhere in there are the Mexicans and Guatemalans that Rosie loves so much. That's around 1 to 2%. In other words, and there really is no other way to describe it, Rosie O'Donnell, the champion of diversity and inclusion, has just fled the United States of America, the melting pot of the world, to live in what can be argued as the whitest country on the planet. Because hypocrisy, thy name is Rosie. All right, that was a great breaking video, Kevin. Thank you for that. Yesterday, all hell broke loose in a relatively minor and not incredibly important committee meeting in the House of Representatives. The topic of the meeting isn't important. No. The way a member of Congress was introduced is what was important. Take a look at this and watch what happened.
I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Now, I don't know if you noticed this or not. Well, you know what? I'm going to let it run all the way through. I'm sorry. And then we'll go break this down Zapruder-like fashion. Let me start that again. I apologize. We'll let it run all the way through, and then we'll break it down.
I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry.
could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the
Representative.
standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman?
the
Would you
standard-
repeat what you just said when
I-
you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I
We
mean,
will- we will-
I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You
hearing.
will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Okay. Now, of course, what happened here is Mr. McBride, as the chair referred to the member of the House of Representatives from Delaware, is transgender Sarah McBride, originally known as Tim McBride. In fact, here, let me just so you can see what we're talking about here. There's the before and after, or I should say before and current, or during, right? So the person presenting as a woman there on the one side of your screen is in fact the member of Congress from Delaware known as Sarah McBride. Now, let's go back to this moment. I want you to watch it because it's just a wide shot. There's no close-ups here. Watch Congressperson McBride dressed in Tiffany blue there on the side of your screen. Watch the reaction and then just sort of moving on. Here at the moment that it
I
happens.
now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
All right. So now before Sarah McBride's hero jumps to his rescue and tries to brandish some sort of broadsword and protect the damsel in distress. Did you see what Sarah McBride did there? Just sort of smiled, took a deep breath, and then did you see? Thank you, Madam Chair. I mean, I think that's kind of funny, actually. Right? I guess my point is Sarah McBride was going to be like, fine, you want to do that, that's you. I'm going to go ahead and do my job, which, by the way, I got to say, I have respect for. McBride wasn't going to make a big deal out of it, but no, now here comes, oh, my virtue must be signaled to everyone that I am down with the cause, that I am beyond woke. I'm over caffeinated with 8 Zims in my mouth. I'm so woke. Here comes Dudley Do-Right saving the damsel in distress.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry.
could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the
Representative.
standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman?
the
Would you
standard-
repeat what you just said when
I-
you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency?
Have you no, that's my favorite. Have you no decency, sir? How dare you? This poor woman just comes here representing Delaware, wishes to do the good work of her constituents, and you dare to speak truth about the gender of this individual? Have you no decent? Oh my God, what a drama queen. This is bad dinner theater is what it is, without even a meal. This is so contrived. By the way, after the fact, Sarah McBride took to X, said, no matter how I'm treated by some colleagues, nothing diminishes my awe and gratitude at getting to represent Delaware in Congress. It's truly the honor and privilege of a lifetime. I simply want to serve and to try to make this world a better place. Okay, so I honestly, again, I mean, I think it was funny that McBride said, thank you, Madam Chairman. Now let's move on. It should have been left at that, honestly. I'm sure McBride would rather be called the lady from Delaware, or ma'am, or miss, or whatever. But it didn't happen. McBride didn't make a big deal out of it. But here comes me. I'm going to fix the problem. That's embarrassing. This is the reality of the situation. I'm sorry if there are some people in America and some members of the Democrat Party in Congress who have no patience or tolerance for some of us in this country who look at this side-by-side picture and recognize that Mr. McBride may feel like a giant leap has been accomplished here by growing out hair or maybe even donning a wig, putting on makeup, and changing one's name. But what you see in front of you is a reality that can't be diminished or whitewashed or removed from the planet. And some of us look at this and say, oh, well, that's a dude. And I don't care what the rules in the House of Representatives are. I'm pretty sure one rule that we should all uphold is the matter of truth. And you see our little Democrat friend there, Representative Keating, he insists that Chairman Self, Keith Self, who was acting as chairman in this committee, Congressman Keating demands that Congressman Self lie. Congressman Keating demands that Congressman Self erroneously call a man a woman, and disrupted this committee, grandstanded and stopped the proceedings. By the way, last time I checked, a whole lot of those January 6 prisoners who got the book thrown at them and imprisoned for months, if not years on end, they were imprisoned for disrupting an official proceeding. Now, I'm sure what Congressman Keating did here is well within the rules of the House of Representatives, but it was all based on a lie. So this proceeding was disrupted. The hearing was suspended and adjourned. The people's business did not get completed because Congressman Keating demanded that Congressman Self lie. There's no other way to look at this. And as you can see, Congressman Self took to X as well and said it's the policy of the United States to recognize two sexes, male and female. And if Congressman McBride would like to point out which side of the equation he falls on, then he should go ahead and say. Or if there's a third option. But by definition, Congressman McBride is a male. And here in America, with our language, we refer to males as he and sir, etc. And I know it seems petty to some people. It seems like it's picking a fight. And by the way, there were years ago, I was open to that question. I'll be honest with you. It was, oh, what is it? How does it harm you to use a different pronoun? How does it harm you to just allow this to happen? It doesn't bother you and it matters a lot to them, so why not do it? And I was open to that until I saw exactly where this heads, where it leads, and the manipulation that is utilized to force an individual to lie to themselves, to lie to their children, and to lie to anyone around them. You can't force me to lie. You can't. You don't have that right. You don't have that power. And that's part of this. They demand that you go against your conscience, that you go against your basic truths that you know and basic facts in nature, defy that and lie to the world because it satisfies their craven demand for power over you and over your language. And the line has to be drawn somewhere. And it's been drawn. And again, my hunch is that Representative McBride was just fine. Let it roll off the back. You know, Jackie Robinson would never have an issue with this. And I'm sure Representative McBride considers himself the Jackie Robinson of the transgender movement. I think it was funny the way McBride handled it. I think it's atrocious the way that Democrat congressman handled it. But you can decide. All right. Did you catch that, Kevin, the first time you saw that clip? That McBride says, "Thank you, Madam Chairman"?
Yeah, I honestly, I think you're right. You kind of have to have some sort of begrudging respect for it.
Honestly, right? I think that, I mean, obviously, McBride believes that he's some kind of, iconic representative of a movement and wants a postage stamp or run for Senate. But on a day-to-day basis, All right. Bum, bum, bum. Where are we here? Chugging along. Oh, I love this story. Okay, let's go. Former Congressman Doug Collins is now the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but Donald Trump has chosen a lot of people to be cabinet secretaries who are really good handling the media, not just giving a good TV appearance and being polished and being, again, a lot of politicians can do that. No. They're good at sparring with and going at the media for their lies, for their abuses, for their tactics. And Doug Collins represented that perfectly yesterday in a sit-down interview that was videotaped with a reporter from Military Times. Now, usually when you think of political bias, you think of the Washington Post and the New York Times and ABC News and CNN, right, and all these high-profile people. But see, the insidious thing about the way the media has changed so much over the decades is that even a benign publication like Military Times engages in the same kind of radical agenda-driven journalism that drags down the ability for the American people to be informed and educated about issues that are going on with our government and in our country. Doug Collins, the Secretary of VA, actually points out a perfect example of that and confronts this reporter from Military Times to her face. Watch this. It is a masterclass.
But I do have a second thing, Patricia, I really need to know. One of the things that I've been finding, we got into it a little bit in the discussion, but one of the issues that we're having is, and it's something here, I need your help on something. I need your help because all I seem to be doing lately is fighting back against innuendo and rumor stories. And this is what I seem to be fighting about all the time. In fact, Patricia, part of it is with you.
I'm sure.
And I just need your help because when you start headlines with, there's a rumor going around and that we've heard that hurts my veterans. That scares my veterans. That scares my employees because it's not true. Will you commit to not doing that in the future?
Well, there was a DOJ representative that day.
I have a VA employee who is our DOJ liaison. You knew that and you could ask that question.
I did ask that
But
question.
when you got the answer. But my question here is, I need you to commit to not starting off. Rumors began circulating.
I mean,
Well, if
that's
it's either true or false, Patricia, and then you go to Patty Murphy, saying that we've heard and we have DOJ may have barged into the VA today. Unconfirmed hearsay. You know what you'd have done if I was a member of Congress and probably done that? Unconfirmed report. But you didn't put unconfirmed report.
Right.
So Patricia, I want to work together with you.
Okay.
But I
That's
need you
fair.
to commit to me that you're not going to do this.
I'm working on it, and I have been oh, actually, I have another question based on that. Thank you very much.
Now, I want to hear the answer first. Are you committing not to do rumors? Because you're scaring my VA employees about this.
That's fair.
And you're scaring my veterans.
Yeah, I
That's
will do
unforgivable.
that.
That's
I will
not
do that.
something I
But
take
if
lightly.
a rumor is different than if I have a source.
Then you source it to our PR people and let them know, because you know something, I've got people who are reporting stuff right now who aren't even calling us. They don't even get something from, they don't even call us to check it.
Well, that's not right.
Well, this isn't right either.
Okay. Well, that's fair. But I did call about that.
Good.
I did call about
And you got the answer, but yet you still report it as a rumor.
Well, I didn't.
Okay,
I,
which is it? Which is
no,
it? Is it a
because
rumor or is
the
you get
lead
confirmed?
Was that there is a Doge person there.
There is.
That was the
Okay,
lead,
nobody
second
nobody
graph.
has said that from you. Nobody. We answered it, but it was reported as a rumor. I mean, you think
I
about
take
this.
issue with
And
parsing out
you know,
my stuff,
in
but that's
the
fine.
headline of the story,
I don't write the
Elon
headlines.
Musk. Hey, I don't care who
I don't
wrote it.
write
Your
the headlines. I know. I have
but
to
your
push back.
byline.
I'm
Your
starting to
byline.
push back on those, and I
Okay,
am.
but you think about what it says here. Elon Musk aide is now working at VA accessing computer systems. Ooh. And I mean, that's all in
That's
this.
a true statement.
No, I mean, it is, because you know what? We don't make a Doge employee, which is funny because they're VA employees, a liaison. We don't also give them a
I
pen.
was not told that.
We don't give.
I was not told
But
it
you
was
wrote
a
the
Doge
article.
liaison. It
You wrote
told
the
it
article.
was a Doge employee, one Doge employee.
As we look at this, Patricia, I want you to know something. When you look at this headline and you're accessing computer systems, I want to work with you a lot as we go forward. We're going to have a lot of time together.
That's fair.
But I'm not going to have any reporter scaring my employees and scaring the veterans. And that's what this is doing. Let's get it right. I'm the most transparent VA secretary we've had yet. I'm on video. I'm on interviews. I do everything I possibly can to push back against everything I'm hearing. So we got a team that will help you, but I need your commitment to help me too. Okay?
There is something. Oh, let's let the logo come in here because that's a beautiful thing too. Department of Veterans Affairs. First of all, if you're a vet and you see your Secretary of Veterans Affairs fighting like that for you in that setting, you want to jump up and lead the charge, right? That's fantastic. When was the last time you had a Secretary of Veterans Affairs who you knew was on your side and fighting your butt off? Well, probably Wilkie 4 years ago under Trump 1.0. Here's the article in question. Elon Musk aide is now working at VA and accessing computer systems. All right, so already the headline is wrong. And by the way, I love that. Patricia, her name's Patricia Keim. She's actually a freelance reporter now. She's based out of Arlington, Virginia, which is where the Pentagon is. And most of her byline appears at Military Times, right? Military.com. Okay, and if you look at the lead paragraph, although you see now, I think that they've modified this. Oh no, they're still there, still there. Representative from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency now works at the Department of Veterans Affairs. That's a lie. It is actually a liaison from the VA, as you just heard, from Secretary Collins, who has been tasked to work with people from Elon Musk Doge. Okay, where they have been given access to contracting systems as well as information on VA operations and information technology systems. Well, first of all, how exactly are the people from the Department of Government Efficiency, which is part of the White House and part of the OMB, reporting to Russ Vought, the director of OMB, how exactly are they supposed to make VA operations more efficient if they can't access contracting systems and operations and information technology systems? Now, I know that the idea of making government more efficient is a new concept for people in the government and people in the media who cover the government. But for the rest of us in the real world who have worked in corporations where oftentimes efficiency experts are brought in to make things more streamlined and run more efficiently in the corporate world, where I actually have to worry about things being efficient because we have to worry about making a profit instead of just living off tax dollars and debt as you continue to print money for 3 generations from now, because that's how the government operates. But if you actually had to work with a profit, you'd be trying to be more efficient all the time. And the way you get to be more efficient is you bring people in to take a look at your operations. And the only way they can look at your operations is if they can, in fact, look at your operations. But then, second paragraph, rumors began circulating Tuesday that Doge representatives visited the VA on Tuesday with an intent to mine data on disability compensation and benefits. So it's the second paragraph of an article that begins with rumors began circulating. And damn it, good for Doug Collins to point that out. I'm sorry, you in the business of journalism here? What the hell are you? Hey, everyone, there's rumors going around. Okay, here's what you do. You hear a rumor, you go to your sources, you go ask people who are responsible, who would be in the know, and you ask them to confirm or deny the rumors. And if you can't get either of them, you don't print the rumors. But instead, what did she do? She went to a senator who hates Trump and hates Elon Musk, Patty Murray, and get her to comment on the rumors. So now you've got the rumors in your article, and now you've got a sitting U.S. senator commenting on the rumors. Where are the facts? Where's the actual information that you're delivering to the American people so that we can be an informed citizenry, which is the whole reason we have freedom of the press? By the way, I hear Jake Tapper and Stephanopoulos and Jim Acosta, all those people who don't have jobs anymore, thumping their chests about freedom of the press and how there's infringements on freedom of the press and freedom of the press is in jeopardy. If there are any dangers to maintaining freedom of the press in America, you have only yourself to blame for it because you have abused that freedom so disgustingly on a regular basis. It's one of the reasons why I wrote my book. My book is called Shameless Liars, about the legacy media and all the lies they told about the Trump campaign. Did I say, well, I thought military.com was Military Times. That's the website for Military Times, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize. The website is Military.com. I think the print edition is Military Times. This is a perfect example. And good for Doug Collins to not only do it in a straightforward and bold and frankly ballsy way. I'm sitting right here with the reporter. Part of the problem, Patricia, is I got an article right here. It's by you. Imagine that. And here's the problem. And he hands it over to her as if she hadn't seen it. Not only is that ballsy, but then to say, here's the problem. You're printing rumors. You didn't fact check it. You didn't confirm it. And the bottom line is, and good for Doug Collins to frame it this way, you're scaring veterans. You're making them feel like they're going to lose their benefits. You're going to making them feel like VA is falling apart when in fact it's the opposite. We're trying to fix the place. I recently talked to somebody who was working at the VA for a short time, and they told me the place is completely inefficient right now. Their computer systems are a wreck. You try to get a license for new software so you can fix things. They say it's going to take a year. Why? We can get a license for software in the real world like in a day for something, right? It's a mess. I'm sorry. Why are we even having this conversation? This is the VA. Did I miss something? Is the VA known for its peak level of efficiency and great service and value for our amazing veterans who deserve a little better than what they've gotten over the decades from VA? Why is this even debatable? There shouldn't be any fear-mongering article about people from Doge coming into VA. There should be parades down Main Street. Thank God Elon Musk is going to fix the Veterans Affairs. But not if you're a reporter. Not if your job is to delve into rumors, innuendo, fear-mongering, hearsay, unsubstantiated reports. And the real job is to get clicks, to drive people insane, to hate Elon Musk and Donald Trump. That's the goal. That's the agenda. And who suffers for it? Listen, Doug Collins is a big boy. He can defend himself, right? And he can defend his agency. No, the people who suffer are the veterans who would just like to know that the doctor's going to be there when they need to go to a visit, that their prescription isn't going to get lost, that if they need repairs on their wheelchair because they lost a limb fighting for our country, that they're going to be able to get that done in an efficient manner. But this reporter doesn't care about that. This reporter wants to get Trump. And so this is what she does. And God dang it, Doug Collins was a stud right there. And that's why. You wonder why Trump picked people who were good on television, who were good with the media, who were good at fighting back? That's why. Because last time around, Trump was the only one doing the fighting. And it's a heavy lift. Now he's got a team, a dream team. And Doug Collins is just part of it. And hopefully this begins a trend. We're only, 7 weeks into this presidency, 6 weeks into this presidency? And already you're starting to see huge changes in the way the media goes about their business. Part of it is because of their failing business model, but part of it is because our side is finally calling it out to them to their face. The old Republican Party before Trump would try to be their friends, try to say, hey, it's okay. You got your job to do. I got my job to do. And, we'll get along as long as you help me get my word out. You can do what you're going to do. No. That game isn't being played anymore. We're right. We know we're right. And when you try your bull, We're going to call you out to your face, and then you'll have to answer for it. And that's a beautiful development. And that's why you should buy my book. I haven't talked about my book in a while. In fact, why didn't you put this up? The second I mentioned my book, Kevin, you know that we've got a rule here.
Excuse me?
Or how about this one, where it points out that it's a #1 bestseller in media and internet politics?
Hey, Larry, how about you read the super chat from Arthur Brogdon over on Rumble?
I would love to read that super chat from Arthur. Let me see. A $5 super chat from Arthur Brogdon over on Rumble. Don't you have a book out? In fact, I do have a book out. Thanks for asking. It's called Shameless Liars: How Trump Defeated the Legacy Media and Made Them Irrelevant. Thank you, guys. That was a fun show. Angela with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Angela. Rosie across the pond is just another W for USA. I know. I love that, like, all 3 of her TikTok followers are, you know, and by the way, most of them are probably Chinese communist bots. That she's like, I know you've been missing me. I know it's been sad. I know it's devastating. I have to break it to you. Amazing. Angela, for another $2 super chat. As Irish Americans, we send condolences to Ireland. Yeah, well, like I said, if she likes political protest, she's better be hunkering down, because Ireland's already seen quite a few doozies, and it's getting even worse with the immigration policies they've got there. That racial demographic breakdown that I showed you for Ireland, it's changing. $5 super chat for Angela. If I identify as Elon, will I be a billionaire and get to hang out in the White House? That's how insane and ridiculous this whole thing. It's worth a try, Angela. By the way, you saw Trump buying a Tesla. Go to my X page, because you'll see I should pin this on my X page. If you want to be like Trump and you want to buy a Tesla to show solidarity for Elon Musk, I've got a referral code for you. You can save up to $1,000 on your brand new Tesla if you use my referral code. I'm going to pin it to the top of my. Is this shameless of me, Kevin? Yeah, listen, if Pasobic can use a referral code for a freaking pillow, I should be able to use a referral code for Tesla. I'm saving you $1,000. That's huge. Hang on, I'm going to pin it right now. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. All right, I'm pinning it now. You can be like Trump. You can be like me. You can get yourself a Tesla. Save $1,000. Thank you, Angela. As the wife of a disabled Vietnam veteran, terminally ill from Agent Orange. Oh, God bless you and him, Angela. We spent the last 4 years with awful support. We're blessed to have Doug. Yeah, amen to that. I love that there's all this, oh my gosh, it's really controversial because there are employees who are trying to make the VA more efficient. This is awful. What'll happen? The VA is a nightmare. It's a mess. Hey, Francie, I haven't seen you in a while. Francie with a $4.99 super chat. Look up undue influence, a legal term for grandma signs the farm over to Bubba Jr., even if she's of sound mind. Undue influence. You think that's what's going on with the auto pen? Could be. Could be. Thank you, Francie. Great to see you. All right, guys. Thank you very much. A couple more days here in the Pacific Northwest as we wrap things up with my family. And then we'll be back on Monday in our regular studio. But we've got more shows coming from here. So bear with our hotel studio setting. Although it doesn't look bad. As hotel rooms go, this is not a bad look. Oh, did I have my water bottle in the shop this whole time? Damn it. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for a great show. Really appreciated it. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you're watching us right now on whatever platform you're watching. And if you liked any of the segments that we did today or yesterday, for that matter, we break those out separately and then we put them right out on the same platform. So you can find it, you can like it again, and then share it on your social media platform, or just share this whole show, the whole episode. Our numbers on the whole episodes are getting really great. Oh, and by the way, you know what? I haven't done a shout out. If you're still listening on the audio only podcast, thank you. Our numbers are really growing on the audio only. And I haven't forgotten about you. It's a very video oriented show, but it does work on audio only. And we appreciate you guys who have subscribed on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for that. Make sure you leave us a review. That means the world to us over on those platforms. In fact, if most of you catch us on Rumble or on YouTube or Facebook, whatever, go seek us out on Apple and Spotify. If you can subscribe there and leave a review, because you know the show, even if you haven't been catching it on Apple or Spotify. But go ahead and leave a review for the show because that is huge. And we would really appreciate it as we continue to grow. We've got some big stuff on the horizon for our show. As you heard, we're already growing our team. You know our intern, Quinn. Say hi, Quinn.
Hi.
And I introduced you to Aaron, our new video editor. Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
And of course, long-suffering Kevin.
Mega Mario.
Dude, we've nice. We've doubled our staff,
Yeah.
right?
Keep going.
Plus our promotions team at Town Hall. We've added Corey and Ganamore and a bunch of, so things are growing here. If you can give us a review over on the audio only podcast or continue to encourage your friends to subscribe and like and share our videos, sky's the limit. And we really appreciate it. We feel like we're doing a quality product here for you. And we appreciate your response to that quality product. We got a quality crowd, a quality audience for our quality show. Thanks a bunch. We'll catch you tomorrow. My name's Larry O'Connor, and you can call me Larry.